Success is not loud. It does not begin with applause. It does not begin with celebration, and it rarely begins in front of an audience. Most of the time, success begins in silence, early in the morning, late at night, in moments when the world around you is quiet, moments when nobody is watching, moments when nobody expects anything from you. Those are the moments that shape your future, because success is not built in the spotlight, it is built in the shadows. Most people want success. They want the results. They want the recognition. They want the rewards. But very few people truly want the process. Because the process is uncomfortable. The process requires discipline. And discipline is not exciting. Discipline is waking up when your body wants to stay in bed. Discipline is training when your muscles are sore. Discipline is working when your mind tells you to rest. It is choosing progress instead of comfort, again and again and again. And that is where most people stop. Not because they are incapable, not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack talent, but because they never learn how to stay consistent. They wait for motivation. They believe motivation will push them forward. They believe inspiration will appear and change everything. But motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel unstoppable. You feel focused. You feel energized. And on those days, everything feels easy. But there will also be days when you feel tired, distracted, unmotivated. And on those days, motivation disappears completely. If your progress depends on motivation, your progress will always stop when motivation fades. That is why discipline is so powerful. Discipline does not depend on feelings. Discipline depends on decisions. A decision to show up, a decision to try again, a decision to keep going even when progress feels slow. And progress will often feel slow. At the beginning, it almost feels invisible. You wake up early, you work, you train, you improve, but nothing dramatic happens. No instant success, no sudden transformation, just small improvements that nobody notices. And that is the moment when many people quit. They believe their effort is pointless. They believe success is too far away. They believe their progress is too slow. But what they do not realize is that something powerful is happening beneath the surface. Because progress does not always appear immediately. Sometimes it grows quietly, like a seed planted in the ground. For a long time, nothing appears above the soil. Days pass, weeks pass, sometimes months pass, and it looks like nothing is happening. But underground, the roots are growing, the foundation is forming, strength is building, and when the moment is right, growth becomes visible. That is exactly how discipline works. Every repetition matters. Every early morning matters. Every difficult decision matters. Every moment you refuse to quit matters, even if nobody sees it, even if nobody applauds it, even if nobody believes in it, because every small action builds momentum, and momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life. At first, moving forward is difficult. It feels like pushing a heavy object uphill. Every step requires effort. Every step requires focus. Every step requires discipline. But slowly, the movement becomes easier. The habits begin to form. The routine becomes stronger. And eventually, momentum takes over. Continuing becomes easier than stopping. Your mindset begins to change. Your confidence begins to grow. You start believing in your own ability to improve, not because someone told you that you could succeed, but because you proved it to yourself. Every time you showed up when it was difficult. Every time you continued when quitting would have been easier. Every time you chose discipline instead of comfort. You built trust with yourself. And that trust changes everything. Because once you trust yourself, discipline becomes easier. You no longer argue with your goals. You no longer negotiate with your excuses. You simply act, day after day, step by step. And eventually something remarkable begins to happen. The things that once felt impossible begin to feel normal. Waking up early no longer feels painful. Training no longer feels exhausting. Working on your goals no longer feels overwhelming. Because discipline has become part of your identity. You are no longer someone who waits for motivation. You are someone who shows up regardless of how you feel. And when that shift happens, your entire life begins to change. Your habits improve, your focus sharpens, your confidence deepens, your progress accelerates. And one day you look back and you realize something incredible. The person you once dreamed about becoming is no longer just an idea. It is who you are, not because of one big moment, not because of one dramatic decision, but because of thousands of small ones. Decisions made in silence, moments when nobody was watching, moments when progress felt invisible, moments when discipline was the only thing pushing you forward. And that is the truth most people never understand. Success is rarely loud. It is built quietly, slowly, consistently, in ordinary moments that most people ignore. Early mornings, late nights, difficult days, moments when comfort looks tempting. But discipline wins, because the distance between your dreams and the life you are building is discipline. And discipline always begins in silence.